Hello. In this video, I'm going to be drawing this spider. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. Herpyllus Ecclesiasticus, maybe? But the photo is by James Reben, thanks to him. I'll put a link in the description of the sources for these photos, like I always do. I'm going to be drawing this one, but I just wanted this view to have an understanding of the abdomen. So I'm going to start off drawing the head first. And when I do these, I try to summarize the initial gesture by either straight lines, C curves, S curves, or ellipses, or some type of shape. So I'm going to start with the head. And it's really interesting. When you look at him, all of those legs should be attached to the cephalothorax, but based on the view of this, it kind of doesn't look like that, which is really weird. When I see this view of the spider, you can clearly see all of the legs attached to that. But when you look at this one, it doesn't look like it's attached to the head at all. But it has to be, which is really bizarre. Actually, I'm gonna check something out real quick, because it can't be. It's just a very interesting perspective. It's still there, but even though it doesn't look like it at all, I'm so baffled when I'm looking at this spider based on the view, because all of those legs, they have to be attached to the cephalothorax. And just to show you, they are. I think it's just a really weird perspective issue. But seriously, when I look at this, the reality is telling me that there's no way it could be attached to that head or cephalothorax. It all looks like it's attached to the abdomen. I mean, is it just me? Am I totally losing my mind here? I'm going to start off by drawing. I'm going to try that again. That part. Then I'm going to draw the abdomen. I think I made it a little bit too big. It's not smaller, it's just a bit of perspective distortion. I think it's even a little bit smaller than that. Kind of like that. And I looked at some other pictures of our spider just to kind of verify, this one, I believe this one's a male, and this one, I think it's a male as well. Maybe this one's a different spider. But when I was looking at the identification guides for it, it should be the same. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm going to get this one out of the way. But, there's no way. It's definitely a spider. And I believe in this case, when you have that, all of these, okay, so all of these legs are going to be attached to spider legs. If you look at the underside of them, they're all very close to one another. So I'm just laying out some initial pilot holes for them. Let me do that last one again. Okay, so I could, I'm going to draw lines to kind of show the gesture. So the interesting thing here is, here we can kind of see some an initial leg nubs. So it's interesting. I'm pretty sure it's just that the legs are all tucked under. like, I feel like I'm really breaking reality of what I'm seeing. Like, I feel like all the legs are attached here. I don't know how many more times I could say that in the video. But it's kind of like the first leg, like, it's got to be, like, going up, like, behind here, and kind of going out a little bit like that. And this leg here, it must be, like, going up, and then kind of going a bit out like that. The next leg is, like, there, and it doesn't go all the way down. It's kind of like that. Some of these legs are kind of under the abdomen, so they're a bit obscured. Let me do that one again. That should be further out. Kind of like that. The back one is really far. It's like really tucked under the body. Now I made that leg way too far out. Kind of like that. Which leads me to believe that I should have made that leg a little bit farther down. Gets a bit obscured at this point. And the back leg is really under that abdomen. I should have made it a bit more angled. Kind of like that. So at this point, I'm going to jump to our construction layer. And it's really interesting. You know, I'm seeing like 2 eyes there. I'm seeing eyes up here. I know spiders have a lot of eyes. But it's really hard for me to tell exactly what are the eyes here. But I see like a, almost like a diamond shape kind of going. So actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to hit the 2 things. I'm not sure if it was like chalcedony or polypulps, but they're like the 2 things that kind of look like tubes hanging off it. I'm not sure if it's like a proboscis in any way that they use to eat their prey. But I just want to like cap it off here, or here, here, and there. And it's got chompers of some sort a little bit above it. I'm going to work on the structure layer for that. So it's got 2 chompers that kind of rest against one another on the face of our spider. And then I'm seeing, like, you see this thing right here where my mouse cursor is? It looks kind of like a, it's hard to say, but it's like a significant form. Kind of like wraps around the face. It's hard to tell whether it's sticking out, but I see like, they look like eyes. Like there. And there. And as I go further up, I added like a contour line to show how it goes. I'm kind of seeing 2 things here. I'm not sure if they're additional eyes, but there's something. But it's really interesting because it's like there's kind of like a cover form over the cephalothorax. It's kind of like a crab shell. That's always how I think of it. I'm going to be ignoring the hair. This spider is a very hairy one. And I want to draw maybe they're polypulps. I'm not sure if they're chalcedony or polypulps, but I'm going to cap them off. And go to the base, as that's how it connects. So now I wanted to focus on the abdomen. It's an interesting shape. I could kind of see what I believe to be one of the web spinners. It kind of looks like there's a bit of a hang off. It's hard to tell whether if it's like a perspective distortion type thing or what its purpose is, but it's definitely got to be a web spinner that connects to the form, even though I made it a bit weird. And I'm also seeing like kind of a shape that goes a bit back and kind of dips a little bit, or it kind of goes just ever so slightly up then dips right back in. May just be a bit of a perspective distortion thing we're seeing here. So now I realized I didn't make this initial sausage shape really long enough. Well, it's hard to say because it's like the front left, and it's really getting me to debate how it's connected to the spider. It's very weird. The other thing I wanted to note before I go on is like there's like this connection detail between the cephalothorax and the abdomen. If you can see it right here, it's kind of like an overhang that connects back to the main body. But I just wanted to put that in because I believe it's significant. But yeah, like I said, I'm really just fighting with myself because like spiders have a cephalothorax. It's not a pseudoscorpion, and I don't believe it's a whip spider, so it's all got to be attached under that head. Much to my disbelief. I realized that when I drew this initial gesture line, I think I should have made it going out a little bit more than I did. Because it's really hard to fit in that initial bean-like shape. And it's even more difficult because now I'm thinking that when I put in the pilot holes, they should have been back more than what I drew for them. Because when I look at it, I think they're further back on the head, so I may have screwed up some of that, some of their initial pilot holes. Luckily, I'm working with digital, so I can go back and correct it. But I just think they're like really crammed in the back. Like I really didn't push it far back enough. And it's just a bit difficult to see. So I wanted to lay in that bean-like shape that kind of tapers down at one end a little bit. And I feel like I should have made it a bit larger. And I'm seeing some individual segment caps. And you know what? I'm going to go back and kind of erase that layer just so I'm not confusing anyone. So I see like a cap here on the leg. It's got to connect to that other leg. And then I'm seeing a longer segment bit down there. As it connects, then I'm seeing like a smaller portion as we go down the leg. Then I'm seeing like a matched stick. Just very thin. And it connects. So we got that leg handled. Now I want to do this leg. And I'm just having a bit of a difficult time thinking how it places in. Like, I should have put the hole. It's really hard for me to orient these holes when I'm not seeing the exact bottom, but I'm going to roll with it. It's got to be something like that. I think it goes up a little more than I anticipated. It'll connect. I think I should have made it more bean shaped. No, just not liking the shape I'm making. I think a problem is the gesture line should have gone out a bit more straight, and I kind of curved it down a little bit too far. Like, let me show you. So I think it should have been more like that, and like that, and like that. Kind of like that. So perhaps I went too fast when I was looking at it. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. I think I made that part a little bit too thick, but kind of like that. Okay, now for this leg, which a bit of it is obscured. Now looking at it again, I think I just don't like that connection with how I did it. I think it should have been more. Let me show you. I'm sorry that I'm undoing all of these legs, but I should have done that when I undid the pilot holes for our insect. But it's kind of like that, and it kind of disappears off the cloth a little bit. So this one is a bit simpler with like it being just a strong bean-like shape. That connects, then it gets a bit obscured. The back leg is a little bit hard to see. And now that I look at the gesture that I drew for it again, it should be a little bit higher. I kind of made it a bit too curved. So let me show you what I wanted to do. Kind of like that. So the initial part, there's a lot of the leg being obscured, so I don't want to confuse. Well, it's not really like that. It's more kind of like that. Kind of like that. Kind of gets capped off at the end. So now I want to focus on the front leg. And damn, this whole video just really gets me questioning what I think of spiders now, because there's no way it's attached to that abdomen. Damn, I wish I could see the bottom of this exact spider. Okay. So what I'm just seeing, I'm seeing like an initial nub thing here. And the interesting thing here is as it goes, there's a beam that is a bit obscured there. Not a beam, but just like a leg part, because it's like coming towards us. It would be the equivalent of like that. But it's interesting because I could kind of see like an ellipse because it's faced towards us, kind of going down that leg. So we could see some sections as they go, and as we reach the end of that leg, it kind of tapers out a little bit. And it's interesting because like some sections are a little bit bigger than the other ones. It's very matchstick like. Goes down a little bit more. Then the last part is the thinnest. So now I want to do this leg. Has like an initial nub-like part. Then, well, actually it's a bit smaller than that. It's like an initial nub. Then we could kind of see the bean-like shape. It goes around it. You can kind of see a bit of a connection pilot hole. How the leg continues going down. I feel like you can kind of see it there. And it gets much thinner as it progresses down. So that initial part, I think it's even a little bit, that part's longer, kind of like that. This part kind of goes like up and then down. Then this part kind of goes like in and up. This section is like a bit straighter. Then the last leg part is very straight. Okay, so now I'm going to work on this leg, and I'm seeing an initial, I'm seeing like, I think I can like put in a bit of an ellipse. And it's like a bean, like I wish I can connect to that leg, but I can't see it 100%, but it's kind of like the bean is kind of going a bit that way until it goes, but you know what? It goes like abruptly up, and I don't think I made the gesture far enough. It should have been going a bit more like that, or more like kind of like that. So now I'm gonna get that big part, or it's more like that, goes up, connects to that part. The interesting thing here is I'm kind of seeing like a bit of a press-in before it connects to that leg. I don't think I drew that segment a bit far. Like I didn't draw it far enough. Like it should have been continuous. Kind of like that. Then this part, kind of like that. And I should have extended a little bit further to get that end cap part. Kind of like that. A bit thinner than I wanted it to. This leg should have been a bit thicker. Now I'm going to do the last leg, which is a bit difficult, but I will attempt it. And there's no way it's attached to the abdomen, even though it looks like it. So I got that initial part, and this is a very interesting shape. It kind of like goes in, wraps around, connects to that, and I'm seeing kind of like a, pretty sure it's a perspective illusion. It's got to connect to that leg. I should have made it puff out a little bit more, kind of like that. The interesting thing here is that kind of continues, and a part of the leg is cut off, so I know it probably should go a bit further. Like, it's got to have like a cap off somewhere as it gets really, really thin. Something like that. Now that I look closer, like, I believe spiders have 8 eyes, so I really can't see where all of the other eyes are. I think I see like one right there. It's very hard to see. So there's got to be one over here, you would think. But maybe the other 2 are like right there and there. Hard for me to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like that. I don't know. I will try to tackle more of these in the future, and maybe I'll figure out why this spider is like that. But yeah, thank you for watching me. I have a lot to learn with spiders. I think I already found like a mistake I made. I think I should have made the head more elongated. Like, I think I made it way too short compared to the reality. Darn. Oh well. Well, I probably made a bunch of other mistakes that I can't see, but thanks for listening. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like the video, please like it. Thanks for sticking around. Bye.